So you're listening to the Duncan Real Estate Show here on 970 WFLA. Got Paul Arrington from Erico Property Management. We've got John Morgan from FBC Home Loans and Richard Vasquez from Artisan Insurance. So the HUD secretary says the goal is to increase home ownership. You know, we've heard rumblings of this before where government starts to have a goal of helping more people become homeowners. And history, and John, it looks like you got something to say, but history has told us that doesn't work out too well.
No, it hasn't in the past. And again, I mean, I'm all about home ownership, and if someone wants to own a home, I mean, I think that's a great thing. But let's put some people need to get on the path to home ownership.
Before we just give them the pass.
Yeah. I mean, you know, you have to set a budget. I mean, you go to Home Depot, you don't come out of there for less than $100.
Right.
I mean, it's just, that's the cost of home ownership.
And I think, and kind of on that same token, when the government gets involved with attempting to formulate, you know, private, you know, lending standards to allow more people to become homeowners, what they're basically doing is allowing people that wouldn't normally be qualified to buy a home and getting them into a home. And owning a home isn't, you know, everything that the American dream is about. There are plenty of people that can rent, still have a very happy life, and can be very satisfied with that life and be very successful. But attempting to make everybody a homeowner is a recipe for failure. We've learned this. History has taught us this. Each time the government has said, hey, let's come in and increase home ownership, and they make it a government initiative, it leads to people that shouldn't be homeowners becoming homeowners. There are a select group of people that should be renters, and graciously, Erico Property Management stays in business from that. You know, if there weren't a select group of people you know that need to rent, you wouldn't have a business. You know,
that's true. And you know, talking to what John said, part of the problem is renters should be renters, but there's some that had issues and they want to move on and become homeowners again. Our software is one of the few that actually reports their rental payments to Experian, so that your rent payment does actually help you increase your credit score, as long as you pay your rent on time.
Right.
So it's a twofold process, but we do help in that process.
Well, and I think the thing to keep in mind is that we're not saying that people shouldn't, you know, esteem to be a homeowner. We're not attempting to classify people and say, hey, you should be a renter and you should be a homeowner. We're saying there are criteria. There are certain parameters that you need to meet to become a homeowner. Credit scores, income, all those types of things. You know, if someone wants to become a homeowner, then, you know, they should go into a plan to help them get to that criteria, not soften the criteria to make it easier just to allow more people to become homeowners. You should set the goal. It's kind of like, it's funny, you know, playing sports my whole life and now coaching, you know, coaching my daughter in basketball. It's kind of like one of those scenarios where we say, hey, our goal is, you know, to win 8 games, you know, this year. Let's say we want to go 8-4 and make the playoffs, right? So you have a goal and you say, okay, if we hit 8-4, then we get to go do, you know, whatever. If you don't hit that goal and then you still reward the child, you're really not setting the right example for what society is going to be like. You're saying, hey, look, okay, you didn't hit it, but we're going to go ahead and make it okay for everybody. You know, that's one of my pet peeves about, you know, coaching my kid in child sports is they want to give everybody a trophy and they want to get, you know, they want to, you know, I think that's terrible. I think you got to teach kids that when they get out in life, and you got to start teaching it young enough, when you get out in life, you're not going to get a trophy. Well, I mean, you could say that the current administration may disagree with me, but you're not going to get it. You're not going to get a trophy if you don't do what you're supposed to have. What you need to do. You shouldn't be rewarded. You shouldn't roll back the criteria for any of these things. You should teach and teach and coach people to strive for that. And if they can't hit it, then maybe next year. Not just give it to them because we want more people to be homeowners. That's like saying, oh, we want more kids to to make the playoffs, so we're going to make everybody make the playoffs. I mean, that kind of stuff just sends the wrong message. It sends the message that it's okay to be mediocre, and I don't think it's okay to be mediocre, and I don't think it's okay. Well, it's okay to be mediocre if that's what you want, but if you want more, then the government shouldn't be saying, okay, we're going to loosen up the terms and make it okay for everybody to become a homeowner. Because what will happen is exactly what happened several years ago when the market busted, the economy busted, and everything went south. So there, I'm stepping off my podium now. You can't hear me, but I'm stepping off my podium. So you just can't make everybody a homeowner. John, I mean, imagine you guys get loan applications all the time from people that are close. you know, they're close, they need to do a few things. Part of the beauty of home ownership is that you feel accomplished, that you, especially for someone that it took some time. You can't just make it easy. You know, you tell them, hey, look, you got to get your credit score improved by this. You got to save up this amount of money. And then by the time they get it, they're more proud. They feel like they accomplished something. They're going to take better care of that home. They're going to be a better neighbor. They're just going to be a better person overall. If you all of a sudden just make it easier for everybody, you eliminate the whole idea of being proud to be a homeowner. So
Right.
I imagine you guys get people all the time that are close, but you got to coach them to get there. And how satisfying is that? You know,
It's very satisfying, and you know, that goes back to that, you know, like you said, set the goal and, you know, get yourself on a path and a plan, and when you achieve that, I mean, yeah, there's absolutely a satisfaction, and, you know, the reward to that is that roof over your head, and you start building equity, but it's, you know, it's got to start somewhere.
right. So I will continue preaching that I really do believe that not everybody should be a homeowner. It's just fact. You have to prove that you're responsible enough. You have the financial wherewithal to do it, and you have to show you have to show the ability to pay off the mortgage and maintain the home and have certain financial criteria. And the idea that we can make everybody a homeowner just isn't reality, unfortunately. And the more that we trend into wanting to get involved in that, that is a private market. The government needs to get out of it. They need to let the private market determine who should be a homeowner. They need to not exert their influence on who should and shouldn't be a homeowner, or else it's going to get us in trouble. We're going to repeat the cycle again. And it's funny, we talk about this a lot, but it's frustrating when you see things that you just know, hey, look, did we not learn from this? Did we not learn from the past? We're repeating the same cycle, and you're starting to feel, you know, our real estate market starts to improve, prices are starting to creep up. I'm starting to feel the same thing and hear the same things that happened when our market crashed. And I hope we don't repeat it, but there are certainly people that believe we're going to. I mean, I heard Glenn Beck speaking, you know, on his program this week, and he was pretty adamant that he thinks we're due for we're going to have another setback. We're going to have another downward cycle. I hope it doesn't happen, but if we keep inserting government influence on, you know, people's ability to own or buy a home, it's going to get there. So again, you're listening to the Duncan Duo Real Estate Show here at 970 WFLA. You can call us with your questions, 990-9352. 461-9352 in Pinellas. Richard, anything else on the homeowners insurance front? Anything new that's going on? Things people need to be aware of?
Well, I don't know that it's anything new, but I want to kind of continue along what you were just talking about, because you hit on one of my pet peeves, and that's maintaining the home. And one of the things that we see on the insurance front is when somebody has a 25-year-old roof and they're filing an insurance claim because there was a leak, when basically nothing happened to the roof. It just wore out, and it was time to replace that roof. And instead of doing the responsible thing that most homeowners do, which is go out and start getting prices on new roofs, they sit around and they pray for a rainstorm so that the leak can happen, and then they call the insurance company and file a claim because something damaged their roof. And that's not necessarily the right thing to do, you know.
It goes back to the whole topic you were talking about before, you know, personal responsibility.
Right.
You know? And so what happens when somebody does that is everyone that's listening to this program that's not, you know, in my eyes, kind of cheating the system, we're paying higher rates for it. You know, we're all paying higher costs because the one guy that decided to, my 25-year-old roof, I'm not going to replace it. I'm going to let it fall in, and I'm going to let corporate America take care of it. You know,
right. When you buy a house, you need to understand that when that roof starts approaching 20 years, it's going to be time for a new roof, and you need to have budgeted probably anywhere from $7,000 to $12,000, depending on the type of roof that you have, in order to replace that roof. I mentioned somebody trying to insure a house with a 37-year-old roof. I'd never seen a 37-year-old roof. and you had mentioned a 22-year-old air conditioner that you saw. Those are regular maintenance things that, as a homeowner, you should know going into a housing purchase, that when those things reach those ages, you're going to have to budget to replace them. So,
well, insurance is not the Band-Aid for your own lack of keep up on maintenance.
Exactly.
You know, as a homeowner, you have a responsibility to do certain things. Insurance is not the Band-Aid for you not taking care of, you know, needing a new roof or the AC or whatever it is. And the same thing goes for, you know, a variety of different warranty programs and all that. I mean, you as a homeowner, which is why it kind of goes back to the topic before. Not everybody's meant to be a homeowner. Not everybody can keep up with the home maintenance. Not everybody will. because what happens when you get too many people that shouldn't be homeowners, that those are the kind of scenarios that happen. They don't take care of it.
Right.
They hurt insurance for all of us. They hurt the value in the neighborhood even by having an eyesore house that people have to drive by. I mean, you can drive through every neighborhood in Tampa Bay and you can point out people and like, oh man, I don't know if they should really be a homeowner. They may need to go back to renting because it looks like they're not taking great care of their home. And I'm not talking like their tastes being different. I'm talking like their roof is shot. They haven't painted their home in 27 years. The grass is overgrown. You know, have some pride. If you're going to be a homeowner, then have some pride in what you know, have some pride in your neighborhood, have some pride in your neighbors and kind of, you know, what you're doing with your house. So, but it's the same concept, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah, and that's what it goes back to. You know, be prepared to invest that money in your house. It's your biggest investment that you're ever going to make in your life. So, have some pride in it.
And some of the insurance companies have got in front of that. They've learned. They've figured out that people are scamming them and bilking them and doing that kind of stuff. So they start inspecting homes every year.
Right.
When your roof gets to a standpoint of where it's a certain age and you haven't replaced it, guess what? We're not renewing you. Go find insurance from somebody else because you need to take care of your home and you're not. And we own a lot of rental property and we've seen it. Our houses have gotten inspected and hey, look, time to replace a roof. Okay, let's do it. You know, but the point is that you'll see people that aren't, and that's the reason the insurance companies have done that. But the fact that the insurance companies have to do that means, guess what? Higher rates for all of us. You know, because now they got to spend money, investing in, inspecting homes. And getting in front of people making claims that really aren't valid claims because, like you said, the roof starts leaking and causes some major damage, and they've known for 20 years the roof was shot. You know,
Right.
So we're going to continue this conversation after a quick break here on the Duncan Duo Show.